What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. And today we are going through round 24 of the NRL Telstra premiership. We're 4 weeks away from finals, and there's still a lot to play for in terms of the top 8, and also for the minor premiership before we head into finals and who's in the top 4 and who will not be. But so I'm going to take my time again. I'm not going to take my time again. I'm in a bit of a rush so I can go to bed. So, sorry, I should be doing this earlier, but it is what it is. Anyway, so before we get started with these tips, I want you to hit the like button, subscribe, turn on post notifications. It's really important to subscribe and leave a like, or because it doesn't cost anything, but it really helps out a ton, and more subscribers, more likes, more views, and so it really helps me out a ton. So let's get into it. Thursday night football kicks off with the Manly Seagulls up against the Penrith Panthers. Now, as for the Panthers, here's our lineup. So Luai's been dropped. I'd say that's a pretty smart move. But looking at this lineup, at the moment, I still think the Panthers will win. Regardless, no Jerome Luai, I think the Panthers will still win. And you know what? I think it's going to be 13+. I can't see Manly winning this game, even at home. They've been very good at home this season, but you're up against a Penrith side that honestly are unbeatable at the moment. So I'm going to go the Panthers. I'm going to go the Panthers by 8. I'm going to go Penrith 36 points to 12. I think they'll just be a bit too good for the Manly Seagulls, and I'm going to go Dylan Edwards to score the first try, and Jason Saab to score at any time. So the first of the Friday night football, the Cronulla Sharks up against the Gold Coast Titans, the 6 o'clock game. And here are the ins and outs for the Sharks and the Titans. Now, still no AJ Brimson for the Titans, so that's a huge loss to me. But this is a closer game than people think. But the Sharks should be winning this after a pretty good performance over against South Sydney last week. But I'm going to go the Sharks. I reckon this will be a closer game than people think. So I'm going to go the Sharks by 4. I'm going to go the Sharks 22 points to 18. I think the Titans, because they got some points in them, and that could really trouble the Sharks if the Titans can beat them, and it can bring some people back in contention for a top 4 spot or a top 8 spot at the end of the year. So I'm going to go the Sharks 22 to 18, and I'm going to go Ronaldo Mulatalo to score first. No, actually, I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go the Titans to score first with Alfie Khan Pereira. With Ali Khan Pereira to score the first try. Now, Friday night football sees the informed Brisbane Broncos up against my Parramatta Eels at the Gabba. Now, Eels last week wasn't a very good game against the Dragons last week, but we got the 2 points and we're still in the fight for a top 8, and this is a must-win game for us. So and as for the Rabbitohs, they got some big ins. Sorry, for the Broncos, they got some big ins. So here are the sides if you want to have a look. There's a few mismatches there, but Braden Hands is back in. After a week off, which was probably deserved. Honestly, you know what? Like, I think we can still win this game, but not as confident as I would say because the Broncos have been playing some very good footy, and the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks really, since Origin, we haven't been playing our best football. We're still putting in some good performances, but like as in with points wise, but as effort, I think only our king, our forwards, and Clint Gutherson's the only ones probably doing the hard work. Dylan Brown, I think Dylan Brown had a bit of an okay game in his return back. So I think now that Dylan Brown is back in a familiar role, I think he'll be ready for this, and the wins will come against these big sides. So we'll see what happens. But I'm going to go the Eels. I reckon we'll just get home. I think we'll just squeak home against the informed Broncos. I think we'll win by. I reckon this possibly could go to Golden Point and possibly come down to a field goal. So it depends how we show up. But if we don't show up, we're in big trouble. Broncos can put some points on us. So anyway, I'm going to go the Eels 25-24. First try scorer, I'm going to go Bryce Cartwright off a Dylan Brown kick. We need to get some tries off of some kicks because that's where we were dangerous last year off our kicks, and this year we're going the other way and sort of leaning towards that. Where last year we were always the highest on kicks, good off kicks, and we scored the most tries off kicks last year and the year before. So we need to score off kicks to win this game, or try and get off some offloads and try to play our sort of style of football. So we'll see how we go. Anyway, Saturday footy, the Rabbitohs were just on the fringe of the top 8 versus the Dragons, who are pretty unlucky to get to win it over us. But unfortunately, these things happen, and you got to realise. And looking at these teams, there's some big outs for the Dragons, a couple of big outs for South, but you know what? I'm going to go South Sydney. I think South would learn from that game, and they've got some big game players back in there. So I am going to go the Bunnies. They're a funny team though, the Dragons. When you think they're going to get some points on, they sort of show up, but it could be 50-50. So I'm going to go the Rabbitohs 13 plus, but I won't be surprised if the Dragons will show up. So they just got to be ready for that South, and they need wins. So they lose this one, that's going to be a big wake up call going into next week. So, yeah. So I'm going to go the Rabbitohs 13 plus. I'm not going to even explain the score, because I don't know what's going to happen in the game. So, now, second game on the Super Saturday. weekend. The West Tigers up against the New Zealand Warriors. Now, the Warriors, like I said, have played some great footy. So, um, here are the lineups. No Charles Nickel Cook start. No Charlie Staines. Interesting. I'm going to go the Warriors. But honestly, this is a closer game than people think, to be honest, because the last few seasons, if you look at the previous games, right? Have a look here, the previous games where team stats, Syria. See, the last couple of games have been close. Even discount last year, right? Last game for them. It's been really, really close games. Like this one early in the year, 16-12. Ideally, I'm going to go the Warriors by 2. I think the Tigers have got some points in them, and they've got some experience in their side that can give them points, and this will be good confidence going into next year that they can get themselves off the bottom of the ladder and really compete with these top sides. And I'm going to go the Warriors. You know what? The Tigers, if they play just a simple style of football and play a bit of heart style of football, they can win this game. So, I reckon it'll be, say, 20, 4 points to 22 or 28 points to 28 points to 26. So it could be a high scoring game, it could be a low scoring game. So, like, but I'm going to go 24 to 22, Warriors. But I'm going to go the Warriors to score first. Tigers, when the thing that the Tigers have learnt this year is that they sort of get off in possession. They showed that they should have, like, most of the games this year they should have won by more, and like they've been high in possession, they've been good in possession, but it's just their discipline and their defense. It's just not working together, and that's what's letting them down in the game, and that's what they're getting wrong. So, but I am going to go the Warriors in this one. Sorry, Tigers fans. And as for the last game on Super Saturday, we got the rematch of the Dolphins' first game ever against the Roosters. This time, it's the Roosters' home game, and the Dolphins, they flicked up the headline early in the year against the Roosters, and can they do it twice in a row? We'll see on Saturday night. And as for the Roosters, they're only missing one, so there are no changes, and no changes also for the Dolphins. It's a pretty different side to round one when they played the Roosters, but last time. And also the Roosters have changed, and this is an important game for the Roosters in terms of making the top 8. The Dolphins, we'll have a look at their ladder, how much points they've got to go. Leave for now. Can you see the ladder from here? The NRL ladder? I don't think you can. Oh, here. No. Penrith. Sorry, guys, I'm taking too long. Yeah. Dolphins. So they're only. Yeah, but that's the points differential. So what's going to hurt? They're not that far outside the 8, but they left their run too late. But they got nothing to lose, the Dolphins, and the Roosters, they got plenty to play for. They're still in the hunt for a top 4 spot. I think they're only 1 point outside the 8. So, and as for they're 2 points outside the 8, the Dolphins, so they can still make it. But some of those guys are going to lose. But ideally, you know what? I'm going to go the upset. I'm going to go the Dolphins. I think they could beat the Roosters twice because Wayne Bennett's always had a good record with the Roosters. But I won't be surprised if the Roosters win this game. But I'm going to go the upset and I'm going to go the Dolphins. I'm going to have 2 upsets this weekend. So, I reckon it'll be by 4. I think the Roosters will get up to a strong start like they did in round 1. The Dolphins work their way through it to get the win. So I'm going to go the Dolphins. I'm going to go the Dolphins 28 points to 24. I think it'll be a very high scoring game, and because the Roosters' defense this year hasn't been Roosters-esque defensively, and it's going to be a tough one for the Roosters. So I'm going to go the Dolphins. Now we move into Sunday footy, and it kicks off with the Melbourne Storm up against the Canberra Raiders. Now, let's have a look at the teams. Yeah, only 1 out, 2 outs this weekend for Melbourne and Canberra. Now, Ethan Strange, I've been watching him in the under 19s New South Wales, and he just teared Queensland apart. But for Melbourne, they've got some players back, so and they come off a big loss against the Storm, against the Panthers. And I tell you what, you don't want to be playing Melbourne, Canberra, but I won't be surprised if they win this game because they got a good record at Amy Park in recent years. So, in the recent times. So, my heart says Melbourne, but I'm leaning the other way. But I'm going to go with my heart, and I'm going to say Melbourne because rarely Melbourne lose 2 in a row, and I think they seal this top 4 spot for now, and seal this top 4 spot for now. And the thing about the Raiders is that they allow teams back in the game, and that's costing their points differential, which they are on minus 74. So a loss will drop them, I think, down to around about where Newcastle and South are. So, so they need to keep winning Canberra if they want to win this year, and who knows if the Raiders are going to win this game. But I'm going to go Melbourne. I think this will be a tight game, but also could be 13 plus. But I'm going to go the Storm 20 points to 18. I think the Raiders will get up to a strong start, which probably hurt Craig Bellamy a bit, but I think with Jerome Hughes back, Remus Smith back, Tarek Sims back, Alec McDonald back, I think the Storm will just be a little bit too good. For the Raiders, 20 points to 18, and I'm going to go Jordan Rapana to score first. Or Jack White, one of those two. Yeah, so the last game of the round is the informed Newcastle Knights, they're starting to show some form, which they're sitting in 7th position in a sweet spot against the Bulldogs, who are starting to get some stars back in their side. And look at this. Now, if you look at these sides, so no, only one out for the Bulldogs and one out for actually Bradman Best. That's a huge loss there for Newcastle. And they put Nari Tuala in there. Okay, that's a good trade. That's a good trade. Good trade. I didn't watch the Newcastle game on the weekend, so I didn't know what happened to Bradman Best, but I'll find out. But this Newcastle side is like Addo Carb against Marju. Now, the last time these two sides played, the Bulldogs got towered up through the middle. They got beaten up by Ponga and Best and just destroyed the crap out of them. 66-0 the last time these two sides played. So, I think Canterbury will come back with a response, and they've got some big players back in there. They got them Viliami Kikau back. So, a bit more good forwards around this Bulldogs pack. And you know what? I'm going to tip them. I'm going to tip the Bulldogs. I tipped the Bulldogs last time to beat them, but I think the Bulldogs can win this game. Like, they showed some good signs against the Dolphins, and they got the victory thanks to a Matt Burton field goal in the first half, and they just won it just at the end before Osako missed the goal to win it, and they got the victory nonetheless. So, Knights have got a lot to play for. The Bulldogs, they've got nothing to lose really much. They only got actually 20 points. They're only 6 points outside the 8. So, but the problem is their points differential and defence, and plus, they're coming off a bye, so that's why they're only 6 points outside the 8. So they get the victory against. No, they'll stay where they are. Yeah, they'll stay where they are. So, but I'm going to go the Bulldogs. But I think it'll just be just at the end they will get the victory. So, I'm going to go 22 to 20. 22 to 20. Bulldogs. Josh Adokar to score the first try. I think. Yeah. But it will be a very tight game, and probably the fatigue will come involved. So, I hope you liked the video tonight. Like I said before, hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you again next time for another NRL tip or supercars preview when the next event is coming up. And enjoy the games this weekend, and we're getting very close to finals time. It's just gone so quick. And enjoy the NRLW as well. Like I said, here's the NRLW this weekend. If you want to have a look there, I'm not going to talk about it. Anyway, enjoy the games. Like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and I'll see you next time. Remember, it's not who you are that's underneath. It's what you do that defines you.